Hello. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to record macros as a way to automate the way we work with data in Excel. Let's begin. First question, what are macros? Macros are chunks of code that manipulate Excel. And the better you get at writing macros, you can also have Excel manipulate other programs, email, SharePoint, Internet Explorer, you name it. Uh, Macros can the code in the macros in Excel can manipulate all these different applications. Macros are built on a coding language, and that coding language is called Visual Basic for Applications. It's a very user-friendly computer programming language, and it's pretty powerful to be able to automate all your data needs. For this tutorial, we're going to walk through a setup. So I'm going to set you up on the scenario and set you up on how to get things started. We're going to learn to record macros. We're going to look at how to rerun that code. That's the whole point of a macro, is to be able to rerun it, and so that automates the processes you do with data. We're going to learn how to make some edits to the code to tweak it to what you need. And then if there's errors, we're going to investigate how to handle those errors. And finally, how do we create buttons in Excel to trigger these macros? So I think that's the whole point of automation, is how do we take this many step process and be able to get it down to the click of a button. Hey, click a button, it does all this work for you. So that's the goal of this unit right here in recording macros. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at the setup. We have to now save our Excel workbooks a little differently than we have in the past. And I'll want to walk you through what that means. But essentially, we need to, when we save our workbooks uh, after recording a macro, we need to save them macro enabled. And it's a really simple step, but it's a must. We must do that. And then we're going to investigate the VB coding window, so the Visual Basic coding window, and we're going to investigate the code. So you need to be able to open that coding window, and there's some steps to do that. Really simple, one-time things, but they're important. Okay, well, let's jump right into our project scenario then. Today's project scenario for recording macros is, each day, let's imagine that each day you have to email a budget update to your team. And so the data you receive every day, it's all there, but it's needs to be aesthetically pleasing. And so right now it's just like garbled text, and you want to make it look like a true budget. And so every day you got to go through these steps of making it look pretty and look the same. And so that's something that we can automate easily by recording macros. So here's the way the data looks right now when it gets sent to you, and then you need to do some things, change some numbers, add some numbers, whatever you got to do, and then you want to send it out looking like this. Well, that's much more um, pleasing and understandable for your team. And so transforming the the format of the data from here to here, that's going to be what we automate in this lesson right here. Okay, so step one, we're going to open the file called Recording Macros Budget. So there's a file out there. Go ahead and open that file, and then you're going to resave it. So you're going to resave the workbook that you open, save it to your local folder. So, if you have it maybe on your desktop or a folder on your desktop, and then here's that save as type Excel macro enabled workbook option that you have to choose. Now that we're going to be recording macros, well, we need to have the macro enabled. So before you click save, go to save as type, click this drop down option. This one will be your second option from the top. Go ahead and select that. And then step three, we're going to start to record the macro. Well, at this point, we're going to go ahead and open the workbook and then save it down to your local folder, change this option, then come back. I'll be at that spot in this video, and we can move forward together recording macros. Okay, so let's imagine that this is the data you get sent to you every day. So this comes in an email, you open it up, and you want to be able to take this data and make it look like this. I mean, that looks really good. And then you got to email this out to your people on your team. How nice would it be to just have a button right here, and when you click that button, it just does that work for you. So that's exactly what we have right here. So I created that button, and we're done. So that's it. That's pretty sweet. Now that was all achieved through the recording of a macro. And that's what our goal is today together. So what you should have open right now, let me get to that spot. I'm just resetting things to make it look like the workbook that you have. So you should have your workbook that looks like this. And in sheet 1, it has that expense data that is unformatted. Okay, so you should be here. Now, the first step that we need to do is we need to get our developer window menu tab up in Excel. Most of you probably don't have this up, so I'm going to show you how to get this installed. First thing you're going to do is you're going to click File. You're going to go down to the bottom and you're going to click Options. Now, in Options, you're going to go to Custom Ribbon, and yours will look like this. Developer will be unselected. You're going to select Developer and then click OK. Now you can see that you have View, but you have this new one called Developer up here. And that's really important because this has a lot of the tools and functionality that we're going to need to learn how to record macros. So let's start. You'll see a button up here called Record Macro. Go ahead and click that. A window will appear and it's going to ask you for a macro name. Now I'm going to name mine format underscore budget underscore data. Now you can name it whatever you want. Just know that it cannot have spaces in it. So that's why I chose these underscores here. So I chose a format budget data. You can again name it what you want. Once you're done there, you're going to click OK. But know that when you click OK, Excel is going to start recording every move you make in Excel. So you have to be prepared for that. In other words, when you click OK, Excel is going to record that you clicked A1, that you selected, that you did. So we just have to, once we click OK, we have to be prepared to be very efficient in how we work in Excel. So I'm going to click OK. Notice that that went from start recording to stop recording. In other words, after I make all my moves in here, I'm going to click stop recording, and Excel will stop recording all the different operations I make. So right now I'm recording. What I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all these columns and I'm going to stretch them out a little bit. In fact, I'm going to double click here to make them fit the sizes, the width, the column width. Okay, that made it look better. I like to color my my budgets. So I'm going to actually insert a row on top of here. So I just right clicked and inserted a row. And I'm going to come here and choose a darker blue, have some white text. I'm going to choose this one, a lighter blue. And then down here, I'm going to choose also that whiter blue, white text for both of these. Okay, let's see, what else can I do? Well, I got to get my total here. And actually, I'm going to make this equal the sum of all of these. So if you look up here, I just wrote the equation equals sum E3 to E15, hit enter. So there's that. And I'm going to up here write expenses as of. Now, again, you get this email, you get this report to you daily. And what we want to do is we want to have the date up here reflect the date, today's date. And you don't want to have to go in every day and change it from May 21st to May 22nd to May 23rd. Wouldn't it be nice if we just wrote equals today, open and close parentheses? So here what that did was tomorrow when you run this code, it's going to say 22nd and then 23rd, all without you having to change it. So that's pretty nice. Well, I think we're looking good. Well, this is these are expenses, unit cost and amount. So let's change that to $signs. And because this is dealing with money, I'm going to highlight it a little bit so that it just stands out. I'm going to bold this. You can see that I'm just coming along making aesthetic changes to this. I don't like that. Okay, well, I think I'm done. This looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go back up to the developer window and I'm going to say stop recording. Yeah, isn't that great? So it went from that messy little data to now having this clean, rich format. Okay, so that's good for now. What we want to do now is we want to go look at that macro and we want to see what we did in terms of code. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the button called macros. You're probably only going to see one. I recorded one earlier, so I have two. But the one we created together right now was format budget data. That's the name of the little program we built. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click edit. Now you should have a window up here, and that window is going to show you all these lines of text here or code. This is actual computer code that it took to take this data from that black and white text to here. Now, in the next video tutorial, so part 2 of this tutorial is investigating these lines of code here and figuring out how to run it again so that tomorrow when you get new black and white data pasted here, we click a button and then it automatically populates like this. So I'm going to stop the video right now, resume on the next video.